Okay. And here we go. Well, in honor of the 25th anniversary of Scary Movie, we have the privilege of speaking with Jon Abrahams. Jon, how are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, hey,
Nice.
hey.
Hell yeah.
I'm
I
here.
love that.
Let's see. What
Excellent.
else? What else can we do?
What are the things we got?
Um,
Oh, that would have been that's a cool memorabilia there. Well, hell
Oh
yeah.
man.
So, Jon, it's so great to have you. We got to meet you at Crypticon.
yes.
That was such a fun experience. How did you enjoy Crypticon, Casey?
Oh, Crypticon KZ was fabulous. It
Mm,
was a bit hot, but other than
yes.
that, it was fabulous.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that's our second time there. It's just always steamy in that area. And it doesn't help it's in Kansas City where in the middle of June, it's always a little warm.
A little warm, but
Yeah.
we made it work. Sometimes it gives it an extra vibe.
Yeah.
know, Come meet
Absolutely.
your favorite horror movie person, and then they're all sweaty and dripping and looking pastely.
Right.
Pastely? I don't know if that's a word.
Yeah, pastely. Yeah.
Paste-
Yeah.
It's a combination of sickly and pasty.
Yeah, I like that.
Pasty.
We'll coin it. We'll coin it. So
Yeah.
we always like to do with our guests a little intro, and obviously, please chime in if I miss anything, and I'll come back when we answer questions. But
Sure.
for those of you who don't know Jon Abrahams, he started his acting career. And please, like I said, if I'm missing anything, Jon, you just chime in and be like, "Nope, that ain't right."
Okay.
Yeah. Tell us
I'm
we're
gonna do it.
wrong.
Be careful. You better get it
So-
all right.
Oh yeah, I made sure. I always do my due diligence. Start off in small roles, and of all things, the film Kids in 1995.
That's correct.
Well, that is a if anyone's ever seen that, it is a film. That is wow. That's when to start with
Classic.
Dead Man Walking and The
Mhm.
Faculty, which I find hilarious because in The Faculty it's billed as Fuck You Boy.
Yes.
Well, it's just I'm like what
That's what it was
Yeah,
written as well.
Yeah, you're just sitting on the bench, just arguing and all that stuff
Ye-
with your girlfriend
Yeah.
or something. It's hilarious.
Yeah, you
it's
see
just
us
great.
like 2 or 3 times in the movie.
Yeah.
First time you see us, we're both fighting. Then you see us and I've been infected or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she hasn't. So she's like slapping me in the face. She's like, "What's wrong with you?"
Yeah.
And I think you see us one more time and we're both like super mellow. I can't remember, but
I think so.
It's been a
do-
while since I've seen that, but yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Obviously,
yeah.
Jon. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go for it.
And Jon is obviously, and the main reason we're here, mostly known as Bobby Prince in Scary Movie 2000. And interesting, the same year, one of my favorite comedies, Meet the Fockers,
Meet
which
the Parents.
Meet the Parents. God damn it!
Yeah.
I had it right the first time. Meet
That's
the
okay.
Parents.
That's
the
all right.
Fockers.
That's all
Fuck
right.
that. Yep.
You're 3 for 1 right now.
3 for 1. Okay.
We're
So,
good.
and then we have after that, we have The House of Wax 2005, which if you haven't seen that, I think it's a classic. I mean, got Paris Hilton getting killed, and everyone at the time just thought that was like the campaign, like Paris. You see Paris get killed. That
See
was always
Paris
like,
die.
yeah, see Paris, like wow.
Yeah.
And then you made a number of appearances for films and TV, and there was so many, so I just put a few in there. Gardener of Eden, Not Since You, Masters of the House, Nonstop, Criminal Minds, Snowfall, and so much more. With your most recent work in Terrifier 3,
Yes.
which is, gosh, we love the Terrifier series, so that was
So do we.
fantastic. Mhm.
And by we, I mean I.
Yes,
Let's see. You skipped over a couple things that are
Yes,
of
sir.
note. One is, and a lot of people don't know this, I'm an extra in Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace.
Oh shoot!
What?
Yep, I'm
Oh.
a new soldier. And if
That's
you don't believe me, go on eBay right now, find the toy, and on the back of the box, you'll see this pretty face right here.
I believe
Um,
that's awesome.
Yep. And then let's see, what else did you miss? A movie called Prime, a movie called
Ooh.
Outside Providence, which was written by the Farrelly brothers.
Hmm.
Boiler Room. A lot of people like that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've tried to make a career of sort of mimicking Dick Miller if you know who Dick Miller is.
Yes.
When I was a younger man in high school, I used to go to conventions in New York City. And I went to I think I was at a Star Wars convention because I think he was on Deep Space Nine or maybe Next Gen. I'm not sure.
I think
But
Deep Space Nine, if I
he
remember
was like a
correctly.
recurring character on some Star Trek.
Yeah.
And so me and my buddy went to the convention and we were walking out and Dick Miller was walking in and I was like, oh my God, and he goes, Dick Miller, I'm in everything. How you doing, kid? And I was like,
awesome.
wow, like if I ever do this thing, that's how I want to do it. You know,
That's awesome.
I want to be like, you don't really know my name, but you know, you've seen me in something or multiple things and gotten some joy out of it, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Well, I appreciate
definitely.
you filling those in because I try to make sure I couldn't run the gamut of everything, but some things that I had seen or that were of note. But we also have to mention before we get into these questions, you also have 3 directorial credits.
I do.
Yes.
Yes.
I have All at Once, 2016, Clover, 2021. I'm pretty sure I saw Ron Perlman was in that one, correct?
Yes, he is. Ron Perlman,
That's
Chaz Palminteri.
So cool. Oh.
It's got a great cast. Erica Christensen, Julia Jones, Jessica Zor, Mark Webber, Jake Webber.
Oh.
Yeah, it goes on and on and on and on and on.
And then, of course, the most recent one is Exploited from 2022.
That's correct.
Yes.
And also I was the DJ on the Ellen, since this is a partly music podcast.
Yes.
I've been a DJ for 30 years and I was the DJ on the Ellen DeGeneres show.
That's cool.
For the 06-07 season.
Wow.
So sort of at the like beginning to peak of indie sleaze and all that, you know.
Nice.
I was the DJ on that show. So because of that, I work very closely on the music for the movies I direct.
Mm-hmm.
Very important piece of the puzzle to me.
Well, that is awesome. Well, yeah, we're very excited to have you, and yeah, we've got a ton of questions, so we really look forward to this time with you.
Awesome. Thank you for having me, guys. I'm super
Absolutely.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. I want to apologize if I cut out. I do have 1 bar of 5G, but I just want to apologize in advance. And I will start off with our first question we ask everybody, but I'm going to word it differently this time. What's your favorite scary movie?
All right. I'm going to preface this by saying I was a big horror movie fan growing up. And I used to I wanted to do makeup effects for mostly horror films. And I used to go to like horror conventions and follow Tom Savini around when I was like 11 and 12. And I used to like make my dad up into like all kinds of crazy things like zombies and vampires and stuff. And I subsequently went to see like every 80s and 90s horror movie that ever came out in theaters. And then whatever didn't, I would watch them at home on VHS or whatever. So my 2 favorites I will give you in this particular order. Number 1, the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Can't beat it, in my opinion. Number 2, Return of the Living Dead. Which, if you are a punk rock music person, it's got a great soundtrack and
absolutely
a lot of like LA punk and hardcore bands and stuff like that from the 80s. And yeah, you know, I mean, number 3 for me, and this might be controversial, is Creep Show, the original.
Not at all. That's excellent.
My dad took me to see it when I was like 5 or 6 and in the theater. And I loved it, but it traumatized the shiz out of me. And so it has a special place in my heart and my mind, my trauma body, as they say.
There you go.
The water zombies actually scared the shit out of me when I watched that when I was a kid.
The one with Ted Danson, you mean? Where they bury him?
Scary Ted Danson.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Father's Day and you forgot my cake was always the one that got me. Just
mine was the bugs. That was too much for me.
Man, yeah.
I was fine until then, and I just God, the fact that they had so many of those, and there was like I don't know, I read something behind the scenes that there were some that they couldn't capture, and unfortunately there were some that were like, infesting the building that they had, so it's like not good. But
wait, now if memory serves, is it Leslie Nielsen in that?
Leslie Nielsen is the villain.
The guy who kills
he's
Ted
fantastic.
Danson.
He's fantastic.
Oh yeah. Oh, it was wonderful.
So there's my top 3. I mean, I can keep going if you like, but
no, that's perfect.
Those are good.
Those are all good choices.
Yeah.
So you said you wanted to be, and I find this fascinating because I love special effects and just the visual design, and Savini obviously for us, and Kurtzman and all that crew. We find this stuff fascinating. But what drove you from that kind of leading into acting? What was like films that inspired you? What kind of led you that way instead?
Right. So it's kind of not your usual story, but familiar all the same. I'm born and raised in downtown New York City, and I used to work in clubs when I was like 15 years old. I was like this big for the viewer at home. I was tiny, fit in the palm of your hand. And when you grow up in downtown Manhattan or kind of anywhere, below 14th Street, east to west, you used to congregate at Washington Square Park, which is in the Village. And so we all used to just hang out there all the time. And, you'd have, like anywhere, you'd have the club kids and the goth kids and the punk kids and the skater kids and the thugs and, everything else. But the difference is that my friend Harold Hunter, rest in peace, he was sort of like the downtown diplomat, and he would kind of be the go-between between all the cliques, and he would just make sure everybody knew each other and were kosher. So I knew all these people. I was hanging out at the park, and then like spring of '94, Larry Clark and Harmony Korine were just like kind of walking around the Village and the park and coming up to all of us and being like, hey, do you guys want to audition for a movie? And so me and my best friend were like, okay, sure, whatever. And we like went to the audition, and they were like mixing and matching a bunch of us. They put us all in a room, all the guys, and moved us around. And sure enough, I got a part in the movie. And then we filmed it. It was my junior. It was the summer between my junior and senior year of high school, and we filmed it then. And then it came out in '95, a year later. And I don't think any of us really knew it was going to be the kind of sensation that it was. I think we were like, wow, it's a movie, and it's it's cool, and it's like an art project, and like it's something to do. And I definitely was not like, this is my ticket, and I didn't really want to be an actor. I liked doing it, but I was going into a kind of I was on a like visual arts trajectory. I loved film, and I was like taking a film class in high school, and had grown up around movies. My mom went to film school. My dad used to make music videos and worked in like different facets of film my whole life. And so I wanted to work behind the camera, but I didn't think like in front of the camera was really for me. But then, Kids was a big sensation, and out of that, Hollywood kind of knocked on my door, and I was like, well, this might be my ticket to working on a film set more, like somewhere. I didn't necessarily, I wasn't a person who was like, I'm an actor and I'm going to be a famous actor, and that's all I want is to be, I didn't really want that. I wanted to be on movie sets and like work on movies, So that's what happened. So I'm sort of unique in the sense that like there's not a lot of people who get picked off the street and end up in, in movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Moving on to why we're here, Scary Movie. Happy 25th anniversary. We actually watched this at my film club last night. Great movie. And like it's maybe aged a little bad, but it's still hilarious to me.
Oh yeah. I don't think it aged bad at all. I don't think you can make it. I don't think you can make it right now. Or no, I'm going to rephrase. I think you can make it right now. I think 5 years ago you couldn't have made that movie. I think it's kind of turning back to comedy being what it should be.
Yes.
And not being or just offending everybody in the name of fun.
Yeah.
But no, I'm very proud of that movie for a lot of reasons, mainly that like I grew up loving In Living Color, and I'm Gonna Get You Sucker was like my favorite movie. And I'm a big Boogie Down Productions and KRS-One fan, and they did the soundtrack for I'm Gonna Get You Sucker. And like I said, I love cult anything. And so I was just obsessed with that movie. And, all of a sudden I'm like, wow, I might get a chance to work with these people who are also from basically the same neighborhood I'm from. Yeah. And so I was just like, I'll pay to be in this movie. You know what I mean? Like, I was totally fangirling all over everybody, and they were like, okay, chill out, dude. But yeah, I'm very, very proud of that. And, it's one of the greatest joys of my life. And I still, I still work with the Wayans family and have done since. They're absolutely lovely to me. So, yeah.
Awesome. By the time you started Scary Movie, was there anything that you picked up from acting or the film industry? I know you're saying, you didn't really want to be an actor, you just wanted to be around film sets. Is there anything you kind of picked up along the way by the time you started working on Scary Movie?
I mean, I'm not meaning to sound braggadocious at all, but by the time I did Scary Movie, which we shot in 99, I had been working as an actor for 4 or 5 years already. And, because I just started working right out of high school. Like I didn't go to college. I just started working on movies. And, once it's when I did Dead Man Walking, I was like, oh, this is like a big Hollywood movie. Like, there's all these trailers and famous people and, everybody at the top of their game. And like, I was really hooked by that experience, and I was really like, okay, well, I feel comfortable here and I'm going to give it a shot. And, I learned any number of things just from watching people. And I was very fortunate to have, by the time I did Scary Movie, I had worked with, a lot of my heroes and been able to just be this close to them and sort of observe what they do, and so I feel like I'm always learning, I always try to treat everything like it's my first job and stay curious and yeah, yeah. So, and everybody's different. Every film set is different. I definitely, when we did Scary Movie, I don't think anybody knew it was going to be the success that it was. In fact, I'm pretty sure a lot of people were betting against it. And, so I was completely thrilled, to be there and thought like whatever the Wayans family does is going to be a success to me. But like, I don't think anybody thought it would be the, gazillion-dollar behemoth franchise starter that it was, yeah. So anything I've learned, I mean, by the time I got to Scary Movie, I think I had learned that you have to play the fool. you have to remove your ego and you have to remove your pride, certainly with comedy, but I think with everything, probably in life as well. But with movies and acting, you know, you've got to learn how to play the fool and be cool playing the fool, for you know, for it to work. And by the time I got to Scary Movie, I definitely had like somehow figured that out, you know.
Yeah. This scene just came to mind with you coming out of the trailer outside the school, like, all right, see you later, Jim, Big Jim, Slim Jim, all that stuff. It's so funny.
Ad-lib, by the way. Ad-lib. Really? And like, yeah. I mean, it was like, you know, Bobby walks out of his trailer and runs up the school stairs. And they were like, hey, it would be funny if like there's a bunch of people in there. So like, say goodbye to like a bunch of people. And so I just was like, okay, see you later, Big Jim, Little Jim, Bobby Jim, Bubba Jim, Slim Jim, Little Jim, you know, whatever. And that's awesome. The take they used, you know. Yeah, I mean, we were really trying to like obviously parody the white trashness of Billy Loomis in Scream. You know, so I kind of latched on to that aspect of Billy Loomis the most, and then obviously the like, you know, like most of those characters in those horror films is just trying to get laid all the time, right? So they're like curvy, you know. And then, you know, Freddie Prinze Jr. in I Know What You Did Last Summer is just like so weird because he's like there but not there. He's like never present in that movie, and like that's why in the scene where Greg is beating up Cindy on a Ferris, and I'm just like standing there, like, come on, Greg, don't do that, you know. Like that's not much of a difference from how he is in I Know You Did Last Summer if you watch it. So, you know, nice. I kind of latched onto that. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Yep.
Devin?
Yeah. So what were some of the deciding factors into taking part in a Scary Movie? Obviously, you said like working with the Wayne's family, and you said that you obviously had some friends that were working on the set too. What were some deciding factors? Then maybe what are some favorite memories from the shoot?
Well, the greatest thing about them, and when I say them, I mean the Wayans family, is they have rehearsal, and you don't always get rehearsal time before you start shooting. It's rare on films to have that. And they bring everybody in, and they give you a questionnaire to fill out about your character. And then, like, you know, it's all, what does your character like to do on a holiday? What is your character, you know, all these like random sort of personality traits. And you just fill it out, and then you give it to them. And then they kind of like find things in there that they think are funny, and they work them into the film. Like the hot dog scene in Scary Movie where I'm feeding her hot dogs. Like that's like, I wrote that on my questionnaire, you know, like that's what my character loves to do, you know, like stuff his girlfriend's face with like fallacies, you know. So like, yeah, so that's a great memory, like that specific sort of time spent rehearsing and working stuff out and pitching, because I hadn't really at that point, like I hadn't worked on, like I had been the comic relief in films, but I hadn't like kind of worked on a comedy like that where you're pitching jokes and, you know, they're getting denied by the writers, or some of it's working, or, you know, so it was really fun and collaborative. And I think that's my most favorite memory about it, you know. Maybe getting Keenan Ivory Wayans to sign my I'm Gonna Get You Sucker soundtrack on vinyl.
Nice.
That's a good memory for me. He was like, why do you have this, and why do you want me to sign this? And I was like, dude, it's my favorite movie of all time. Like, you know.
Love that.
Still have it.
Awesome. Collector's item now, yeah. So this will be probably a tough question. What if there's a scene or maybe two scenes in the film that still makes you laugh the hardest to this day, when you watch through it again?
Sean Wayans, everything in that movie makes me laugh. For me, he's the funniest person in that movie. I mean, and that's not taking away from everybody else, because everybody else is hysterical in that film and really good. But Sean just makes me laugh. There's a little scene where Anna says to him, if you see Bobby, tell him I love him. And he says, okay, if I see Bobby, I'll tell him I love him. And it's just like his delivery, just everything is just so classic and funny to me. Yeah, just so much of his character is so funny to me. So yeah, I mean, he's like, I don't play favorites, but he's up there, you know. And then all the other stuff, you know. I mean, unless you're asking me, like, I love the way me and Sean die, and that just happened on the spot. You know, I fall down with my butt up in the air, and then he falls down on top of me and collapses. We just came up with that in the moment, and we were like, oh my God, like, let's just do it. And it makes me laugh. Whenever I watch that movie, it makes me laugh, like, out loud, you know? So, but I mean, so much. The Amistad 2 trailer is
God,
hilarious to me. So
that part
funny.
Kills me every time.
Yeah, that's classic Keenan.
Yeah,
right there, I think. So, you know.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
Amazing.
Yeah, for me, there's like the little stuff in that film that gets me. Like, they're in their locker, they're in the locker room, and on the wall it says like, it was stating like the high school's name. It was like
Bodies BA Corpse High or something like that.
Corpse High. I have, so as a wrap gift when we finished, they gave us all high school varsity jackets with our characters' names on them, and like a goofy ghost face patch on the back, you know, and it says BA Corpse High School.
I love that.
You know, yeah, I still have it.
Awesome.
Yeah, my man Dave Sheridan is always like, I never got that. How did you get that? And I'm like, I don't know, dude.
We actually got to hang out with Dave. He was at Crypticon last year, and his booth was right across from us. It was a great time. He's a good dude.
Yeah,
Dave is the greatest, and Dave is obviously you've experienced it firsthand, but he's a comedic genius. Yes. And you know, a funny memory of making that movie is the high school stuff we shot on Victoria Island in Vancouver, and you have to take a ferry to go there. And so all of us, and it was early on in our film shoot, so we didn't all know each other like that well yet. And we get on the ferry, and the ferry takes off, and Dave is like in character as Doofy on the ferry. And he's like, you know, nope, safety first, put on your thing. And he's wearing a life vest around the thing, and he's in character. And like the rest of the people on the boat and the staff on the boat think that he's actually a special needs person. And they're like, oh, would you like to go see the captain? And he's like, yeah, I'd like that. Yeah. And so they like take him to meet the captain, and the captain's like, oh, so nice to meet you. Do you want to steer the ship? You know, and like, so Dave now like can't break character. So he's stuck in character, like he has to be in character for the rest of the trip, which is like an hour long. And he just like, it was just so funny. And he just like snowballed from there, and like ended up walking by the bar and grabbing a whole bottle of Tabasco hot sauce and drank it all. And it was like purple red with the life vest on, and like, I need to sit down now. And like, everyone's like, I mean, it was just incredible, spontaneous comedic performance. Yeah. So, you know, lots of things like that.
I know we're getting close on time. Don't want to take up too much of your time, so we'll speed through the rest of these.
All good.
Would you consider this film to have a cult-like status?
Scary movie?
Yes.
Wow. I mean, I would consider it to have more than a cult-like status. I think it's very beloved by a lot of generations at this point, and a lot of a diverse audience, you know, like a lot of communities love this movie. I don't think of it as cult in the sense that, like, you know, I think of like the original like Trauma films as
okay,
you know, you know, like, do you think RoboCop is cult?
It's such a
It's a little more than cult, even though it's truly a culty film,
yeah.
right? So, like, yeah, I wouldn't say. I mean, yes and no is my answer. I don't really necessarily consider it a cult classic. I just kind of consider it a comedy classic.
It's a classic for sure.
Yeah, it's a classic for sure. When a movie is that big and beloved by so many, it kind of excuses itself from the cult realm for me, you know. Yeah, it's not like a dollar bin movie, whereas like I consider cult movies to be like, I never heard of this before, you know. You know, you're going through like the dollar bin and you're like, oh, what's this? Yeah, so yeah, but yes and no is my answer.
Okay,
I'll take it.
Okay,
fair enough.
take it, it's free.
So keeping in the realm of horror, a few years later you would be in House of Wax. Now, if I looked at everything correctly, this is maybe your first like pure horror film. What was it like for you being in that, and what about the production got you most excited to be a part of it?
Well, okay, so Faculty had come before that.
Faculty, yes.
But like I said, I'm only in Faculty a little bit. A Dick Miller amount, and maybe even less than a Dick Miller amount, actually. But so House of Wax, like, I got the script, and I love horror movies, and it was like, you know, a huge budget horror film. Like, you know, I'm used to horror movies back then being maximum $3 million, you know, and this was like a $30 to $50 million horror film. And I was very excited. I was like, you know, this is where I want to be. So I got the script and I was very excited, and I got the opportunity, and you know, I was just chomping at the bit. And it was very interesting to be on a horror film that was backed by a studio and of that size, because, you know, they spared no expense on detail, and it was pretty fantastic to witness. Like, every set was built and dressed, and they built that whole town in the middle of the jungle in Australia, you know, and that whole town was built and dressed at all times. Like, you could just wander down that street and go into the gas station, and it was like an abandoned gas station. Go into the church, and there's like all these wax figures sitting in the pews, and strange animals that Vincent had made, and like, you know, it was totally amazing to be part of something like that. And KNB did the effects on that, and I had to go to KNB before I left for Australia and get my head cast. So for me, coming from the makeup effects world, I was like super geeked out about that. You know, that was like
nice
heaven for me. And pretty sure Howard Berger like took me around and gave me a tour, but I don't know if it was him. And if memory serves, it was him, but I don't know. Yeah, and they had just done Sin City, I think, when I was there. So like, you know, so they were like telling me all the Mickey Rourke stories and stuff, and you know, they were like, yeah, he's super claustrophobic, and like, it took like 5 of us to hold him down while the silicone dried, you know, and the plaster and everything. So yeah.
Okay. Let's see here. So, after numerous appearances in films and TV, you started directing. What was your directing experience, and did you have any sort of process when you were making those 3 movies that you did?
Sure. So, my first 2 movies were movies that I also, had a hand in from soup to nuts, right?
Mm-hmm.
My third one, Exploited, I was just a director for hire, so it's a little different. But my first two, I also act in them. I'm also the lead in both of them, or one of the leads, and that was out of necessity. It wasn't necessarily my first choice. I wasn't my first choice. At least with Clover, we had tried to get a lot of people, and we had a time frame that we had to make the movie, and I jumped in at the last minute. But what I had a lot of people will say, well, God, isn't that hard to like direct and act in something, like, and I'm always like, for me, it really wasn't the hard part about it. Because I know that like there's at least one actor who's going to listen to me as the director. You see, you know what I mean? I'm going to listen to it, and I know exactly what my director wants. So it's like, and I'm not going to argue. So that didn't really stress me out so much. I mean, I definitely think that, I was an actor for 20 years when I decided to finally make the leap into directing a film. And I think that was the right amount of time. I think I needed that time to gain the confidence to know that I could actually helm the ship, and it's just a beautiful experience. I like it more than acting because, like I said, I come from a creative background of all facets of the arts. And for me, directing includes all those things, right? It includes my interest in music, and it includes my interest in visual arts, and, fashion and everything, whereas acting for me is kind of singular, and, it's not all that I'm into. It's not all that really satiates me. So that's the best part about directing for me, is that I get to be involved in all these facets of the arts with it. So I always like, I don't know, a long time ago I saw like an interview with Clint Eastwood, and he was like, don't go back to your trailer after you're done shooting. Like, just stay on the set and just sit there and watch what the DP is doing, watch what the director is doing, like watch what the other actors are doing, watch what the grips are doing. Like, that's the best way to learn. And like, I heard that, or saw that interview a long time ago, and it stuck with me. And so like, I started doing that on film sets, because I was like, someday I'm going to want to know how to do everything and be very hands-on. So yeah. So getting to design a movie from soup to nuts is the greatest joy for me,
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And that kind of gets into, I need to check out those movies because I saw them.
Yeah, so do I.
I'll make sure to be. Yeah, I'd love to.
My first film is called All at Once. It is a human interest story, a dramedy. It deals with the aftermath of 9/11, which is
timely
because we're doing this interview today on 9/11, 2025.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And I really am proud of that movie. It's got a lot of heart and soul. It's not a culty kind of movie, but it's definitely, there's a lot of movies I like, a lot of John Hughes movies I like. It's it's got that kind of like drama and comedy vibe that I think he handles really well. And my second one is called Clover, and that's a crime comedy, and that's the one that stars Ron Perlman and Chaz Palminteri and myself and Mark Webber and blah 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 blah. And that's like that's sort of my homage to like all the cult movies that I grew up liking, and all the dollar bin record soundtracks that I used to dig for, on vinyl. In fact, I worked very closely with Leon Michaels, who is L. Michaels Affair. I don't know if you know who that is, but check him out. Leon Michaels, L. Michaels Affair, and Big Crown Records is their label. They put out a lot of stuff y'all have probably heard and didn't realize was them. They're some of the best studio musicians in the game. And, I wanted to make the soundtrack, the score, feel like a lost score from a movie from the 70s or the early 80s. And, and I designed the record, the vinyl actually, to kind of look like a picture disc record you might find in a dollar bin and be like, what is this? So that's Clover. That's a mob crime comedy. My friend says it's Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead as a mob picture.
Oh,
you guys know what that is. Yeah. And I sort of experimented, right? It's like my homage to Cult. So everything I do, I also always have like a bit of a horror perspective on things, or I'm looking for ways to do that in scenes, like come to it with that perspective. So there's a lot of like kind of gruesome gore and stuff like that in Clover. And then Exploited is actually a horror thriller. It's an LGBTQ plus protagonist, which is not something we see a lot. And it's webcam. It's set in the webcam fetish world, and it sort of is about the horrors of being in the closet as a young person. I'm a straight male, so you might say, well, that's an odd choice, but to direct, but I there's something horrific about that. Like there's something about being repressed and sort of feeling like you have to be repressed by your own little society or whatever that was interesting for me to explore. And yeah, I think that all three movies are on Tubi, but I might be wrong. So look them up.
I bet they're on Tubi.
Clover and Exploited. And I'm working on 2 more that we're going to probably make in 2026.
Okay.
Well, sweet. Yeah. That gets into one of my the last 2 questions here. That's perfect. So to kind of end it here, we'd like to start with and end with the Terrifier franchise. So how did you get involved in that, and what intrigued you the most about it?
So like I said, I'm a horror fan.
Yeah.
I had seen the first Terrifier, and I loved it. And I was doing a horror convention in New Jersey, and Damien and Michael Levy were walking around, and I met them, and I was like, oh my God, like I'm such a fan of Terrifier, and like I would love to work with you guys in any capacity, and I'm also a filmmaker, and like, maybe there's a way we can find a way to work together. And they were getting ready to make the second one, I think. And they were like, yeah. And, I sort of bonded with Damien over the makeup effects thing and Tom Savini and all that. And then I didn't see them again until Terrifier 2 had come out, and we were at another convention. And like, the first time I met them, they're just walking around. Nobody's bothering them. Nobody knows who they are. Second time, they have their own room at the convention. That's how big it had grown. And I was like so impressed and so happy for them. I mean, they're also all from New York. So anybody from New York who's making movies gets extra special love from me. And then I was at another con like a year later, and I was sitting with Damien. We were having lunch or something, and he said, "Hey, I'm getting ready to the third one. Do you want to be in it?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll do whatever." And he was like, "Okay, like when are you back in LA, and how quickly can you go get your head cast?" And I was like, I was like, as soon as I get off the plane, I'm going right to Tinsley Studios, and I'll do whatever you need me to do. Yeah. And so that's how I ended up in Terrifier 3. And it was just an awesome experience for me. Like I said, the makeup effects part, and I'm a gore whore and all that jazz. And I had never met David before that time, and rode to work with him, and it's just a lovely group of people, and it really is a family. And like, you know, I think something that I picked up probably on Dead Man Walking is that, like, you know, film sets really are a family unit. It really is like everybody is working together as a bunch of neurons that make up one brain. And if you have like a stressed film set and not a family environment that's nurturing, your movie is going to be a stressed movie. Like, it's usually not going to turn out that way. And, you know, I try to make my sets like that when I direct. And the Terrifier sets are really like that. They're really calm and everybody is like a family. And like, you know, this is my cousin Paul, this guy and this guy, you know. And, you know, I was very impressed by how calm a set it was, because, you know, making movies is stressful no matter what. And like, they're just like, yeah, whatever. Okay. Now let's just like get this part. And then, you know, it's just like super mellow. It's not aggro at all. And so I really appreciated that about those guys. And yeah, now they're my good buddies. And, you know, I mean, geez. I mean, that's a movie where you knew it was probably going to be a smash. I don't know that I don't know that they thought it would be the behemoth it's been this past year, but you know, you definitely knew it had the potential to be. You know what I mean? Whereas like even Meet the Parents, like, you know, right, I'm on that set and we're all on that set and we're all like, this is great, this is so funny, this is like, you know, we're all having a great time. But like, I don't think that anybody on that set knew it was going to become the kind of like classic, loved by all film that it is, you know, and then franchise, for crying out. So yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Lastly, here we go. Last question. Thank you again for taking the time and just talking with us. Honestly,
I'm totally flattered to be here, and you know, I could talk music and movies all day. So
we'll just have to have you back on.
Sure.
Especially for the music part. I want to hear more about that.
Yeah.
I do too. So we'll plan on that for sure.
We'll do a music episode.
Yeah,
totally down. Lastly, you kind of mentioned it. If you can say anything, what are some projects that you have coming up? Also,
well,
are you going to be at any more conventions or special events for our listeners to come and meet you like we got to?
Yeah, sure. So I am on a new Marvel show which premieres on Disney Plus in December, called Wonder Man. Great cast. We got Ben Kingsley. We've got Ed Harris. We've got Yaya. We've got just a wonderful cast. Look it up.
Sweet.
Yeah. And so I'm very excited about that. That premieres in December on Disney Plus. And I just shot an episode of a show called High Potential. I don't know if you guys know that show. It's on ABC and Hulu, and it's very popular show right now. Kind of a crime procedural, but with a bit of a lighter edge to it, quirky edge to it. And as far as conventions go, I'm going to be at, let's see, I'll give them all to you. Here we go. In order. September 21st, that weekend, I will be in Phoenix at Gathering of the Ghouls. Then October 3rd through the 5th, I will be at Scaradise, formerly known as Spookala in Florida. We're doing a House of Wax reunion.
That's cool.
Chad Michael Murray and Brian Van Holt, who played Vincent and his brother in the movie. Then I will be at Scarefest in Lexington, Kentucky. I'll be there with Dave Sheridan and maybe some others. And after that, I am at, that's end of October. I am at Days of the Dead Chicago, November 21st. And there will be more things added as we go. So follow me on @TheRealJon Abrahams. That's on Instagram. I'm not on Facebook. I'm only on Instagram. I'm not on TikTok. I'm old. I don't even know how to use Instagram really. But at the real Jon Abrahams. And I'm always posting where I'm going to be. So come check me there, and maybe I'll have updates about exciting other new adventures.
Ooh. Well, that's excellent. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us, Jon. We will be adding this onto our scary movie episode, so it'll be a bonus to the episode we have. So
awesome. Who else did you get?
Just you. That's
just you. Yeah. So thank you.
Okay,
tell Dave that he needs to come on the podcast. Maybe we'll all just have a quad talk sometime. So
Dave will eat up too much of my time, so you have to do your own one with Dave.
That's fine.
All right. I'm gonna be selfish with my episode.
Of course.
No worries.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
We'll definitely have
thank you so much.
We'll do a music episode.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us.
I could talk music all day, just like I could talk movies all day. You guys rock. Drive safe on your way to wherever you're going. And be safe in mountain time. No, central time.
Yep.
Oh, yes. Thank you. Oh, we're good.
Thanks. Have a good night.
Thank you so much, Jon.
Fellas. Peace. Thank you
for having me. Have a good
me.
evening.
Bye.
Later.
Later.
Awesome.